Welcome to our third edition of Taping Tuesday. This week we're going to do a shoulder stability tape, and we're very thankful to have Michael Burke just before he goes on an overseas holiday, just to get his rig out. Katie was unavailable for this one. So when you sort of anterior dislocate your shoulder, which is the most common, there's a tendency for your shoulder to go out and the humeral head to pop forward. So what we're trying to do here is hold them in the opposite position, get them sitting up nice and tall. We've already laid the fixing mold down because it's quite a sensitive part of the body. But what we're going to do now is use the base to work off there. So to begin with, all we're going to do is have an anchor. It comes straight across the top, doesn't need to be too tight, and just laid down kind of firmly. And then the same thing around the bicep, just getting Michael to squeeze his pipes on at the same time. Beautifully done. From here, because we're worried about it popping out anteriorly, we want the pressure to come across the top. And the skill involved in doing an anterior dislocation tape is to have like a rotation component to it. So fairly firm across the front, and then angling that tape heavily around. And we're going to repeat that 3 times. Just a slight change on the angle each time, just in terms of holding a different position and trying something, creating a lot of movement and stability in that shoulder. And you should see from here with Michael, when he goes to move that arm, it tightens up across the front, and that's ultimately what we're looking for. From there, we're going to have some strips that start across the front, already heavily angled, and rotate all the way around. And once again, repeating this step 3 times. And laid down nice and firmly. From there, I always find it beneficial just to do a couple of strips just to lift up, to feel like we're locating that joint back into its sort of cavity. So it becomes 1 here. Always careful not to punch the person in the face when you rip the tape. So that's the baseline of an anterior dislocation tape. And what we're going to use this time is a new tape, the elastic tape, to hold everything down nicely. And all it's going to be is to start at the front, loop around, once again getting them to squeeze their bicep all the way around in rotation and back around the back. Using the scissors to cut that one. And then finishing with a final anchor that comes down here. Completely up to the individual. Sometimes you can use a wraparound tape. I prefer to do that with elastic tape, just around the waist, just to hold that edge down, particularly when you're about to be involved in sport. But there you go, an anterior dislocation tape. See you next week.